I just drilled the holes in my backer plate, my silicon bronze backer plate for the fin. And what I started to do was actually make a template like this. Then I was going to put on the plate and drill it that way, but then I realized I actually could drill it with the fin itself, clamped right to the plate. So I drilled the first hole as my reference hole, and I put a bolt through it and tightened it up. And then I was able to maneuver this around and do different holes and clamp it in various ways. And so now I have, oops, sorry, through there. And so now there's my plate. And so that will sit on top of the keel right there. And then the fin, of course, be bolted from the bottom. So that should work pretty well. I'm going to try to polish this up and see if I can make that look a little prettier, just because. But anyway, so that I'm real happy with how that turned out. And I know it fits perfectly because I drilled it using the fin itself as reference. So I went ahead and did kind of a rough polish of the backer plate for the fin, so it looks nicer. I mean, I wasn't going for perfection here. I mean, this will pretty much be out of view under the engine. And I went ahead and polished the this will be the backer plate for the strut. So again, I mean, you could do a much better job polishing, but it's just a lot nicer looking than that. And and I did that with the same polishing sandpaper little round discs, that kit that I used to polish my Skeeto pylon aluminum. So I think I started with 240 grit and went to 400, 8,000, 2,000, 3,000. So it just takes a few minutes. I mean, obviously you could do much better, but I just like it polished up a little better. So there we have it. So this is showing how I put tape around where I'm about to seal up with a 4200 just to keep it from getting all over the bottom of the boat. And this shows how I put tape around the backer plate before I sealed it, just to keep it from getting all over the keel and the inside bottom here and the side of the keel. I did some rough polishing, or some polishing on this fin. The casting, it's a pretty rough casting, and I just wanted it a little smoother. Probably don't even need to do this, but you can see there's still pitting in there, and I don't want to dig so deep that I get rid of all that, because that would be really taking quite a bit of material off, but it's a lot better than it was. So I did it with, I think I started with 80 grit with my little rotating wheel here in my drill, and just went 80, and then like 180, 240, 400 on up to, I think I stopped at 2,000, just to smooth it out. So it's better. I don't know if I really needed to do that, but I did. So I got the fin mounted and all sealed with 3 and 4200, and it looks a little messy as you can see, but you know, like I mentioned before, when you're using this is not a time to skimp on this. And I did try to see if I could clean up some of this where it got up on the base of this, but as I was trying to scrape that off, it was starting to peel back, and I did not want to get into where it was going to affect the seal, because there are 6, remember, there are 6 screws, 3 on each side, and I also sealed those heads. And you know, I put goop under the heads so when they pushed up in there, it squirted out. But also I sealed on top too. And so it's just going to stay looking like this. I mean, it's relatively smooth so the water should be able to go fine over it. But like I mentioned before, this is not a time to skimp. And also underneath, basically you embed the fin in this 4200, and then as you tighten it up, it squirts out. So you definitely want to make sure you have a good seal around the edge, which I do, and then seal up the screws because you do not want any water penetrating in there. So it does look a little messy, but I would rather have it this way than not have a good seal. So that's what I've got with this. And so I will show what it looks like up top here in a minute. And this shows what it looks like up top after I sealed it up with 4200. So there you can see how the tape made it look nice and clean. And so what I did is put 4200 on the keel and around the bolt holes, and then I put it on the underside of that plate. And so then when I tightened up, it did squirt out around the edges. And then I also obviously put it all around the bolts and the nuts to seal that up, because remember, if water gets in the boat, you don't want it getting under that plate or down in the bolt holes and things. Now, I don't ever plan on having that kind of water in the boat, but you never know. So that's why I want to get that sealed up real good.